Hi, David Whitener Jr. Most of you know me as Davey. I am running for the position number two, and I am obviously a longtime member here in terms of living down the hill at Camelchi and being a part of the tribe.
Why do you want to run for council? And if elected, what would you like to contribute or be known for? What leadership experience do you have working with committees and boards, etc.?
So I want to run for council because I want to be a contribution to the tribe. And I actually have a broad background in uh, business and economics, business development. I've been a police officer for over 8 years. I was the general manager of Island Enterprises in the 90s. I actually brought the idea of the casino to the council at that time and did the first, all the startup development in that area. And that is kind of where my vision has always been, and that has been to create an economic base for the tribe to be basically to have something that would actually support the things that are really important to us, which is family, education, culture, health. You know, we money's not the most important thing, but I've always said that it's the fuel that makes the car run. We live in an economic structure that we have to deal with. You know, it's not traditional. It's not what we were, what our tribe grew up with, but it is what we live in. And so to accomplish some of the things that we want to accomplish, it's going to require us to be good with money and actually develop it, create avenues for those things that we need. And so that really is, as best as I can say it in a nutshell, what I want to be remembered for. I want to be the support for those visions and ideas and things that we have, whether it's having a school or paying for education or having supplemental health for all tribal members. You know, there's all of those pieces that would contribute to us as a community as a whole. And that is where my strength is. So that is the piece that I do focus on. I've been on, well, in fact, when I started Casino, I also started what was now called Little Creek Oversight Board and was the chairman of that board in the beginning. I served on it again at a later date. And then I've also been on the Gaming Commission, which is on the regulatory side of the casino. Um, that pretty much.
So, what successful strategies would you develop to empower our people? How would you balance the tribe's business interests with cultural identity?
Um, so it's a really good question, and it's a difficult one to answer in a short period of time because strategies are something that you develop, and they typically what you do is you develop your strategies from your vision. So when I say I have a vision of an economic future for the tribe, that means that it isn't about making money in the sense of like I want to make money to be rich. I want to make money to support the culture. Things like the we couldn't have hosted the canoe journey if we didn't have the economic wherewithal to come up with over $5 million it costs to do that. And that's really where I sit. Those are the things. Those are the things I've been working on. Those are the things that I really I actually have a passion for. And I love our culture and I love the people who are dedicated to it. And I want to be able to support them and grow our culture.
To ensure a tribal council makes decisions with 7 generations ahead in mind, what changes would you propose?
Um, I would say the biggest thing I would see would be is to create the you could call them communication channels, but it would be actually tapping into the wealth of knowledge and skills that we already have in the tribe, and that would be in creating some sort of a venue or like an elders advisory or cultural advisory who actually have a voice with the council. Um, and there's some changes that would have to happen. We already know that we need to have better communication at the council level, but it does require us as a whole community to be able to do that and to accomplish those things. So again, I don't know if I can in a few minutes speak about what I would call systemic changes. Like how do you actually accomplish that? But the vision of it is to have these avenues where people can actually have communication back and forth, whether it's with the elders or with the community in a way that actually produces results. And that actually is going to take us actually working together on that and having people, on council that also have the vision and the desire to have that happen.
How do we make our leaders accountable, and what, in your opinion, would create more transparency?
Um, there's a couple of you know, sometimes what I call basic things, but they fall into the realm of communication. But it's again based on whether or not you think of yourself as a public official or if you think of yourself as something else. So as a public official, how should you act? How should you communicate? And what should be open? What should be closed? Those are questions that sometimes don't get answered because I don't know if we've grown as a political group as we have with the tribe. The tribe is, I mean, it's 3 times bigger than when I started the casino project. I mean, we're at almost over 1,100. We were about 450 members then. A lot of the focus back then was really on the, the treaty rights and fishing and those kind of things. The fight on that level happened at that level. But there are some of the simpler things would be having council meetings that are recorded and available for tribal members to see. Another is that the agendas are set and published ahead of time so that you see what's on the agenda, and then you have an ability to, as a community member, if it's something of interest, you would actually be at the meeting. That all the meetings are actually published and put on a calendar and done in a way that people are given time to actually be able to plan for and be at those meetings if they prefer to do that. And again, some of it is using the new, we have technology now. Some of those things I know we have been working on, but the having those things happen would be really a big piece. To me, would be a big piece of it. Just to have your structure in place so that whoever is in office as a council member would have a pathway going like this is what I need to do to act as a public official, and this is the things that need to happen. And sometimes it's missing. We know that. I've seen it, and it's been an issue for me because I want us to be as transparent as possible.
What would you do to prepare our tribe for future disasters such as the pandemic or earthquakes?
Another good question. I think we've done a lot, and if you've seen how this tribe has responded compared to many other places across the country and with other tribes, you would actually see that we have done a pretty darn good job overall. Where I would attack it from, because what was so different about this one, and most people didn't talk about it, was the economic impact of having everything shut down, basically having your economy stopped, and then dealing with the jobs and all of the stuff that happened. Some of the things we were forced into, which included the remote working from home. I've become a Zoom and GoTo and Google Meets, and expert, right? I've worked a lot from home during this process. But where I would really look at it is in the economic piece. So the more that we can create a stable economic base for the tribe and for the tribal members, that gives us the opportunity to weather anything that comes in, right? Sorry.
Is there anything that we didn't touch on that you'd want to say to the tribal community?
No, I just love and appreciate my community, and I'm glad I get to be here. Thanks.